Camera one?
Yeah.
Camera only.
Which camera am I looking at?
We're all looking at a bunch of camera ones.
Camera 1 is camera 1, but then camera 2 is camera 2. It's just the setup of it. Right now you're in some. I gotta grab this from some hotel lounge, little kitschy bar.
So that's where we get all of our equipment. We steal it from hotels.
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you think
Hey
I got
everybody,
my glass?
I'm Shane.
And I'm Lex from PDQ.com.
And I guess on this one, on this the shoestring poor man shelter in place webcast, you'll also be able to actually see or hear JJ and Kelly when they have this channel to us. You can't hear, Shane, you got crap in your teeth, or Lex, can you stop mouth breathing?
You'll hear Kelly. I've got an on-off button on that I've programmed on vMix because that's where my audio is coming from.
Yeah, let's get super technical there, young man.
I just want to let you know I'm trying to be as
transparent as possible, right?
Exactly.
That's all right.
All right.
Coming to you from
I'll keep my audio
homes.
on. Let's go to camera 1, which is also camera 2.
Let's go to the camera. Anyway, everybody, welcome. I'm Shane. We're here to talk about tools. If you have any questions, by all means, throw them down. And if I understand, Kelly, you'll just read those out. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm like, yeah, I might actually be a little bit more sauced unless you could go back several St. Patty's days back in
that was
15 or something like that.
I think so, yeah. That was the ultimate. We had so much to drink that day.
No, that was the ultimate hangover, maybe.
Yeah, I guess there have been some holiday drink-alongs where we've gotten. You weren't there, but we've gotten a bit.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Holiday, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we're here to talk about tools. If you've seen these, let's just go over here. If you can see the PDQ Inventory, go to Tools. You'll notice there's quite a few more here that don't normally exist. It's because we've imported some ones that we have built. But you may have just seen these: the reboot, the shutdown, PDQ deploy, open up event viewer. Like I'll just open up event viewer real quick on Beth. It looks at whatever computer you have open or you have selected. Takes care of that. But there are custom tools. Now, here's the thing. If you have scripts that you've written or utilities that you like, your favorite utilities in the world, if they can be executed from a command line, and especially if they can be customized, actions can be performed via command line, you're gold. You can create what's called a custom tool to cut down on all the pain that you have normally of running the same script over and over, or you can automate a bunch of, just basically a bunch of tasks for all your computers.
One of the things that I love tools for is, I type you've all seen it so poorly. It's like I just got to do it once right, and then it's keystrokes after that.
Well put, Lex. But even if you don't type poorly, sysadmins are generally the. This is cool because it's not a pejorative. Y'all are lazy, but you're smart lazy. In other words, you don't want to do tedious work nonstop.
Ever.
I'm not a chef, by the way, guys, at all. Like, I don't cook. But with this, basically with the environment that we're in, I found myself helping Mandy cook, and she had me doing some very tedious things, and I was like, this sucks. I wanted to automate it. But
can I PowerShell chopping carrots?
Can I
make that into a tool?
Automate this? Yeah, precisely. I actually did pull out the food processor just for one onion. I'm like, screw this. All right. So let's talk about creating a custom tool.
A good way to start.
Okay.
Let's just. Can I drive for a second, man?
Yeah, please go for it.
All right. And here's the thing. I always like to do this open admin share. Okay. Control Alt O. You'll notice it. It's pretty easy. It's going to open this up, and everybody knows to get to a admin share on any machine, it's whack the computer name and the admin dollar, the C dollar, or the D dollar. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing for you at this point. So the nice thing is, for a good example of how to do this, if you go to Customize, Tools, and then Customize, and then you just go open the admin dollar share, which is right there and edit it, you can see what we've done.
Well,
basically, yeah, basically we're calling Explorer exe, and then can I send it? Of course I can. Normally you guys can't hear me. JJ say that.
Normally you can't hear that.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
We don't know what we're doing.
Do we ever? Okay. Back. Thanks for derailing.
So here you're calling Explorer.
Yep. And the thing about this dollar computer target host name, that's a variable. Now I'm just going to put it in here, the cursor at the end, and hit this. Here are all the pre-built variables that when you select computer you can use. So I can actually put like IP address. And again, it's just going to paste that in there for you to use if you wanted to use the IP address of the host name, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So when you select computer and you kick this off either by selecting the tool and executing it or using a shortcut, you'll be off to the races.
I like that. Thank you.
Back to you, Shane.
Rock on, man. Go ahead and not save it. So first of all, those of you who've been with us for a while, you remember the old remote command, and then we always had custom tools. And several years ago, we merged the two effectively. Remote command was great, but now it's still there. It's just merged with the tools. So let's say that you wanted to. I'm just going to go to Beth again since Beth has been slow through here. Go to tools. Let's just say that we want. Actually, I'm going to customize this. Let's see if this one still works. Hold on for 1 second. I just hit Control-Alt-C. That's been the keyboard shortcut for remote command, but it comes up with run command, but you can actually save whatever you run here. Let's say that you wanted to just do you wanted to run a command that would run GP update, and we want to do a force. And let's say you only want to do the computer level GPOs, not the user level. You can do target computer, I believe. And you can just execute that. See what comes up down here. You'll see that all the computers that you have selected for your to run your tools will be listed here, and then you have to select the one to look at the appropriate output. There we go. Computer policy update was completed successfully. Let's say you wanted to save that. All you'd have to do, so basically save it so that you can run it again in the future. You would just sit there and save the tool, call this whatever you wanted, and then it would be available.
Shane, I got a question for you. So if I were to go and say, okay, after I run that force GP update, I wanted to run a scanner, and then I saved it, would it actually run that force GP update and then run the scan afterwards, like the application?
If you save it, what he's talking about is maybe there's a command that you want to use that is going to alter some part of the computer. You're going to want to do an inventory scan for. There is a scan after. Notice here, we're going to say scan after. Of course, what profile do you want? The default profile is going to show up. Let's say that we're only modifying applications. You would say scan just applications. Go back to standard. This is a way that if you save this tool now, then anytime you run this tool, it's going to initiate an inventory scan on that target computer. Is that what you're asking, Lex?
Yeah, just when it's done, it's going to initiate that scan. Which, I mean, here's the thing, right? I'll write a GPO scanner, and I'll force a GP update. It would be nice to run that GPO scanner on that machine.
Okay.
I've already built, so I was just.
Yeah. So do you have a GPO scanner on here?
I just deleted it before we started the show, man.
Well done.
Well,
That's okay. Let's talk about the different types of. The run types. You've got remote, and then you've got local. Lex, what is the difference between remote and local? People may be going, duh, but why don't you throw it down for us?
So that's why you're asking me, because it's a duh question.
Yeah, pretty much.
Remote runs.
You finally broke the code.
Is that?
Wow.
That's my sad face. That's my sad face. Okay. Remote runs on a remote machine. Local will run on the console. Why would you want to run a local, Shane?
There's quite a few reasons, actually. Let's actually go to one.
Okay.
Now we've got an old version of Dameware Remote Control on here, really old. But let's say that you don't use VNC. Let's say you don't use Remote Desktop. You use Dameware. I'm going to come over here to Tools and Customize. Notice we've got a Dameware tool here. I'm going to edit this. And in Dameware, I've noticed the run type is local. Why? Because Dameware is a remote control utility. I'm going to instantiate, just like VNC, you've got to instantiate the server, which is the computer on which you're currently running. You need to launch that and then say connect to this computer. Now, Dameware has command line. Remember, if you remember, we mentioned command line earlier on. So here's DWRCC. So we have to, this has to be installed on the PDQ machine. DWRCC, that's the remote control. And then if you can see here, it's kind of hard, it might be hard, I don't know if you can zoom in or not, JJ, but these are the parameters to connect. There's a lot of different parameters for Dameware. These are the ones that we've chosen. And notice -M, this right here is a PDQ variable. So I had just selected this to paste that in there. But basically we're saying launch this locally, not going out remotely. When it's a run type of local, it actually goes out to that computer and tries to run whatever you've specified. Here we're saying local, but the local utility.
I've got remote. Just to pause you guys, I've got a large earthquake happening right now, so we may lose some.
Oh wow!
We'll see what happens.
Another earthquake in
Salt Lake. Yeah. It rains and pours. Anyway, continue.
Welcome to it, everybody.
I'll drink.
You
to
San
that.
Andreas people, though, you know what that's like. I'm on the other side of the mountain, so I can't feel it.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so if we're assuming we're still on, local is going to run locally. This case, this utility has the ability to reach out. There's a parameter -M. What is the computer that you want to manage? So we specified that, and now that's an example of local. Now on the shell, there's a lot of different reasons, or a lot of different options for different shells. Here we're actually calling a Windows program, so we don't want a shell. We don't want to see a shell pop up. We certainly don't want to see a shell that we're a command or PowerShell or anything else pop up and just stay there. No shell generally means you're calling some type of a GUI app. So let's just go ahead and do this. I'm going to go over here to Beth, and I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to go to Dameware. That will launch Dameware. Let me center that for you, JJ.
When you pick no shell, Shane, it didn't pop up a command window to actually kick that off. It just did it in the background.
Invisible. Correct. If we didn't do that, you would have actually seen that command typed out in a shell and launching this. So here it's connecting to Beth. I'm assuming that Beth has this. Cool thing about Dameware is if it doesn't, it will ask you if you want to install it. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and install it. And there you go. It will start to install. Let's look at Allen Rails. Now it's also, Lex, I think this is one of your favorite things, is going back to the being lazy. Let's say you want to attach a shortcut to this. What would you do?
Oh, go to edit.
Drive? You want to drive?
Yeah, by all means.
All right, go for it.
So head up to edit. And then if you go down to shortcut line down here, it's like, I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to think of one that hasn't been used.
Cool. Probably try Control Shift something.
Control Shift D
or something. Yeah.
Dameware.
Now, if this were used by PDQ, you would see a little warning there saying, "Hey, you're using a." Now he noticed he didn't type that in. He just had to hit the keys Control Shift and D. Now we'll hit save. Go ahead and hit save, Lex.
All right. And the great thing is, if I had to type out Control plus Shift plus D, we'd still be waiting for me to finish that. So.
Okay, it would have been adorable. Go ahead and close that window.
All righty, man. You want to drive again, brother?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So we'll go back over here to all computers. We'll go to Allen Rails, and it was Control Shift D, right? So I'm going to hit Control Shift D. Notice that kicks it. Okay, so Allen Rails already had Dameware installed. Didn't have to install it automatically. There you go. This is a way, and there's a lot of different remote control tools out there. Our point here is, if you can type it out, if there's a command line for it, go ahead and make that a custom tool, especially if this is a repetitive task. Normally, you'd have to open up Dameware and then go type in the computer or search for the computer. Here, from within PDQ Inventory, you can just select it and go to town. We've had different. I remember throughout the years, I've had different customers say, "Well, I happen to use like IntelliSense or something like that. Just some different type of remote control. Is there a way I can automate that?" The question is there a command line? Do a search for it. They found the command line. Boom! They were able to get it to work. So this is where we want to go. By chance, are there any questions that we have?
We have one. Wow, thanks guys for helping us out today.
We actually have more than one. Are we ready, JJ, for the question? All right, dear Shane and Lex, when creating a PowerShell tool, is there a PDQ variable for the target system? I have a few PowerShell functions that use a computer argument, and I wish to integrate them into a PDQ tool. I'm guessing maybe I'll be able to replace it with localhost. Sincerely, Hi Guy J.
I've always been able to use our variables for filling in computer names, even in PowerShell. So unless somebody else has run into problems with that, let me come over here. I think we might have one. Let's come over here, tools, customize. I should probably get my Slack open here.
I would say if you can write a PowerShell that you can feed arguments to, and you just like, here's your PowerShell, you feed the argument, the computer name at the end of that. Again, your script, your argument, pretty easy that way to feed it.
Let's see. Anyway, let's come over here. Now, invoke GP update. This is a module. It's not something you're going to actually have this installed. But I'm going to open this up. If you looked at this is running as a remote, but if you were to run this as a local, in this command there is a dash computer. Don't get confused by that. That's a parameter to target, just like a GP update. I want the computer level. Anyway, there's a computer. And in that, you would actually place the variable that we have, which is this right here. You would go to where are those?
You hit the ellipsis, not the X. Hit the X. Bing.
No, I'm hitting the X.
Oh, you did hit the X.
There we go. On local is where that will show up. You would say, dash. I think it's dash computer, and then you would specify this. That will actually be expanded at runtime if you're running this from PDQ to be the host name. So you should be okay if you're wanting to fill in the computer name. You go ahead and use this parameter, this variable. All right. Unless somebody else has anything to say about that. The way PDQ Inventory handles this is before we actually kick off the command from whether it's PowerShell or CMD, we will expand that variable and then run it. So as far as PowerShell is concerned, we're literally typing the computer name in, and obviously it knows the computer based off of whatever computers are selected. Do we have any more questions? Cool. So let's come on. I'm gonna go ahead and open up. Let's see. I may as well do Allen Rails. I'm gonna open up Allen Rails. Some of you may have noticed this. There's an uninstall feature in inventory. Let's see. Let's do what's something that we can uninstall easily.
Hit Google, man. Google's an easy uninstall.
Yeah, if you notice in the uninstall column, if you see MSI exec, that is a slam dunk. If you don't, you have to supply the silent parameter. But I'm going to right click and go uninstall. What does this do? This opens up a run command window, which is the same as the tools, where you can save this as a tool. But notice this is the MS. This just runs on MSI exec and says do a quiet, no interaction, no restart, and this basically pulls this information from the registry for the uninstall string. And we want to uninstall from Allen Rails. We'll just go ahead and execute. Now, if you have this, say, if you want to do this in mass and you have the same version, in other words, you know that, or you're confident that this app ID is going to be the same across the board, you can save this tool and then just run an uninstall on a lot of computers. I would, however, if you're doing a lot, I would recommend that you actually use PDQ deploy for this.
You know, there's I've done a video on how to do a dynamic collection for apps that have the same uninstall
Cool.
ID. So check that one.
Notice we had a scan after on that one, and now you don't see Google. It scanned this computer and said, yep, Google's gone. Google Chrome is gone. Well, our point there is the uninstall uses the same infrastructure. It simply just runs a remote command, which you can then save. Once again, let's say that we wanted to uninstall for some reason this Visual C++. If you wanted to save this, you would just simply notice, by the way, scan after, we could change that to applications, make it a little faster since this is actually just removing an application. And we'll save the tool. And I think this was uninstall Visual C++ 2008. I think. I might be wrong. I'm getting drunk. So now we go down.
I'm getting shaky.
There's
another one just now.
Earthquake. Do you have another earthquake?
Yeah, they're just they keep coming.
Poor JJ.
Yeah. All right. I don't care. The only thing I'm worried about is my internet going down, so this thing just like cuts out. But
he's not going to be getting calls from friends. Hey, can I come up and crash?
Yeah, we're good. We're good right now. Do we want to take another question?
Yeah, please.
Let's do it.
All right, dear Shane and Lex, how does the reboot computer tool work? It's been a lifesaver when other commands don't work. Sincerely, Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Hey.
Rock on. I'm going to come over here to Ellen Rails. So the reboot computer, there it is, reboot shutdown. Notice that this one doesn't actually open up the remote the remote command or the tools window. That's because we've got this one built in. Sorry, you bet. We've just got this one built in, but it operates much the same way. In this case, it uses a Windows API shutdown, but you could literally just use a number of shutdown, like PS shutdown even. You can use a number of shutdown commands to run this. But this simply just passes a shutdown. In this case, it's the API, but this shutdown instance, and we can choose reboot or shutdown. We have had one customer that went to tools and did a reboot shutdown while they had the entire, like all their computers selected, and they did shut down all their computers. We put a little, are you sure you want to do this in there? But I'm not sure. I mean, while you could build your own custom tool, that one we just actually wrap up into call a Windows API.
So Shane, with that being said, if I were to accidentally do that, could I cancel that? Like, you know, I can abort a deployment.
Yeah, but this API happens to be the same one used by shutdown. So you could actually have, if I recall, unless it's changed in the last little while, you could create a tool to abort. Abort shutdown. The shutdown, yeah. And you could, let me just see if I can try this. We won't test this for obvious reasons because I don't believe in it that much. But abort, shutdown, and I believe it. Is it shut down? I can't remember now.
Let's try it.
Screw you. I'm gonna say shut down. I think it's shut down. I might be wrong. /A.
Yeah, I think it is.
And then you can do the. Oh wow! Well, let's find out. There it is. Yeah, I just did a shutdown /?. So it's a /A is a abort the system shutdown. So you would do this as a remote. You could do it as a local as long as you did the /M computer variable. The only way this would work is if the shutdown that you initiated had a timer. If it was set to like 0, then it's just going to reboot. Good luck, farewell, see you on the other side. If it has a timer, and the default timer I believe is 20 seconds, but if you specified a timer of like 5 minutes, then you could, and then yes, you could just do a shutdown /A, have this run remote. Actually, make it, just /A, yeah, /A, and then throw that out to your targets, and then it would abort the shutdown. So the API that we're using is the same one that the shutdown exe actually uses.
Why don't we send a shutdown to Allen Rails, and we'll try and abort it. And I guess if it doesn't work, we'll see Allen Rails on the other side, huh?
Sure. Do you want to open up a remote control for Allen Rails first to see it?
Yeah.
I'll let you drive.
Actually, let's do Beth, because I've already got Beth set up on here. So.
Okay, I'll let you drive.
Beth.
Up at the top.
Oh, spelling. Yeah, there we go. I love it.
No, that would be reading.
Dang it.
All right. Close, Lex. You're getting close.
Don't confuse me. All right. Well, you can see that in the background there, right, guys?
Tall order.
Can they see that, JJ, or do I need to move that? I just want to show the...
I can see inventory. I can see inventory. Is that what you're trying to go for? Oh, there we go. Okay, we can see that. We bring that down a little bit.
I can do it.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Okay.
But you wanted, I think what he wanted to do is, I'm going to bring it up a little bit so you can see at least Beth there. So
okay, gotcha.
What was that? So,
yeah, so you can see the fact that we're trying to shut it
down.
I'll
just drive. Let's just see. I'm going to come over to Beth. I'm going to do a getting hammered.
Reading, Shane, you were telling me all about that earlier.
Right.
So our audience is calling this
shutdown. Also Control-Alt-B. So we're going to change this from 0 seconds. We're going to give this a healthy number, 120 seconds.
Oh man, come on, 5 seconds. You could be quick.
Okay, so there it is. Yeah. And now we'll come over here to Beth. I'm going to tool. Hopefully this will work. And did I save that? Abort shutdown.
We'll find out.
There it is. So it actually aborted the shutdown. That once again only works if you have a timer, or if you didn't use a timer, you do that within 20 seconds. Good luck. Anyway, I hope that answers whatever the question was originally.
It was fun. It was entertaining to do it, at least.
Should we take another one, or do you guys have more to cover?
I don't care. Let's do it. I'm at home smoking a cigar, dude.
I know. This is like, let's make this an hour, whatever. They're calling it the Apocalypse Edition on the chat. So
yeah, there you go. Okay, dear Lex and Shane, is there a way to have a tool prompt for drive letter to scan with WinDirStat? Sincerely, Murphy.
No. I mean, I suppose you could. So here's the thing. You don't want a tool. The general rule for tools has always been you don't want to require any input. So if you require input, especially from the target user, you could run into problems. You could have this run indefinitely. You could effectively run until this times out. So the general rule is no, you don't want to. Now, let's see, if we go over here, remember almost every single tool, customize, new tool. Actually, we'll just do abort shutdown. We'll just edit that one since it's there. And we will say run as. The only time you're going to want to allow somebody to answer a question, talking about the customer, is if you use the credentials interactive or logged on user. Those are the only times where, and you're talking about a remote run type. Then the user might see something and be able to answer. You are limited to the fact that are they there and are they in fact going to click something. The credentials user and local system run hidden, so they will never see it.
Question for you, Shane. Could we do a tool that I could kick off, and then it comes up, and I could fill out what letter, drive letter. So I think that's what he's asking for. It's not the end user, but the admin themselves.
Yeah, I suppose what you would do is run a command, and then the run type would be local or system. It would be local, and you would have it set to the tool is leave shell open. So that would type in something and then leave the shell open. So we could
and you'd finish the typing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hello, Lex. Oops. Hello, Lex. Let's try this. I've never actually done this before. Let's try this. Leave shell.
You've never
open.
said hi to me. Yeah, true.
I don't care about you at all.
Run it in,
especially when it comes to command shell. So now, if I go over here to Beth Tools, abort shutdown. Nope. Hello. Is this it actually? But notice it kept it open. So actually, no, not if it's expecting it, because it actually runs that and then hits enter. So, unless somebody out there in our one of our
could you write a PowerShell script that prompts you for something and then continues, or does it all
let's ask our PowerShell experts that. Yeah. If any of them happen to be watching, they're working from home right now, so they're probably watching. I bet they're drinking along too.
Drinking.
I hope so. We have rock stars that work there.
Smoke them if you got them.
They're probably just going, Shane, Lex,
dude,
suck,
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, let them pipe in if they want. Do we have is there a text going or no? We don't have that, do we?
I mean, if you want to hit us up on Slack,
I'm talking about for even the customers.
Oh, for the customers. There's
they
the
can chat on Vimeo, yeah.
Yeah, they can.
They've got the Vimeo going.
I don't have that open here.
Okay. Your jacket is disappearing.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
I'm moving around a lot.
We didn't test this out yesterday, so yeah, we can do another question.
Okay.
If I can get
all right.
There we go.
Okay. Dear Shane and Lex, is there a way to take the output from a tool and add it to the inventory database? I have a PowerShell function that gives me how long a user has been locked for, and I want to integrate that into the inventory database. Sincerely, Guy J.
Not natively. There are ways that you could write a script that actually does that, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Let me ask you this. I mean, PowerShell scanner we're talking about coming up. You could do it with that, couldn't you? With the new feature, as soon as it's out of beta.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have anything to do with tools.
That is true, but you could collect that information, though.
Yes, you could collect that information, and depending on how you've set up your scanner, you could have that information put into inventory. So yes, thank you, Lex, for calling that out, but not in tools. So in tools, actually, when you're looking at the output, that's actually not even making it into the database. That's making it into a text file that we read, so that we're not cluttering up the database. And that text file is I believe it's in your app data, fairly deep in there, and it will get deleted after I think 100 meg or something like that worth of those. First in, first out. Anyway, that doesn't even make it into the database itself, the output. So you'd have to write something that parses that and throws it in there, and I wouldn't recommend it at this point. I like what Lex said though, and in the PowerShell is going to be kind of the catch-all. It's the umbrella for everything.
Dude, it's the one scanner to rule them all.
Oh, so Colby wrote. Somebody post that up there. Is there a better way to use PDQ to rename a computer? It's kind of kludgy. Somebody post that. I'm not have the ability to do it. If you can, if not, we'll move on. Thank you, Colby. Good morning, Colby. I miss having Colby over there as the phone a friend. Always, you make eye contact with Colby, and he'll always give you a smile. That's how you know you. That's how you know you exist. When we get into the existentialism part of this.
Whoa, time out. He's never smiled at me. He's never smiled at me.
Well, then Kierkegaard would have a heyday with you, Lex.
Do I really exist? I'm just kidding.
Really, if Colby, has Colby reacted at all to you? I'm good or bad?
Either way.
If he hasn't, if he just sees through you, now we've got a bigger discussion. That's a whole different webcast. We'll go to the Sam Harris webcast right now.
And we'll have to do that later, yeah. Love you, Colby. I do, buddy. Thank you.
You want to throw any more questions out there? Sure. Otherwise, I'll start breaking down more the finer points of tools.
We'll see what we can do.
You're going to start breaking, huh, Shane?
I'll do it.
Come on, man.
Hey, do you want to run some of these old custom tools, Lex?
We can.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. Oh man.
I always like remote.
Actually, I'm gonna go to customize. So look at this. Okay. This is what this was built a long time ago. Let's look at
oh yeah,
Web
SSH.
Connect. I'm gonna edit this Web Connect. So let's say you have a printer out there and you've got a printer in inventory because you've added that. Yeah, you can't scan it, but you've added it manually. You could run a local command. If this printer happens to have a web interface, you could, call whatever that target IP address is for that printer, assuming it's an inventory, and open up your web browser and start managing away. This is an example running just cmd/c means run this command but keep the window open. And here we're starting web address, which means it's going to instantiate your whatever your default browser is. Go ahead, Brett.
You know what I used to use that for? VoIP phones, because all our VoIP phones had IP addresses.
It's a great one.
And it was like boom, key through them.
Yeah. So if you have something that you can get to via your web browser and its IP address, this is a great example of what you can do to kick that open. If you have, did you want to show something else, Lex, like SSH? You said.
Oh yeah, SSH. I like the fact we're calling PuTTY in this case. Again, it's another application that's installed on the local console machine, and we're accessing another machine. And
notice this. So in command shell, if you see the %username %, that's a Windows variable. We're counting on Windows being able to expand that variable for us. So the computer name and then our own variable of what computer is selected. That's how you can, if you have PuTTY installed on your local computer, you can connect to that.
Telnet. What's that? I've heard of Telnet. Oh. Yuck.
I know you know what Telnet
Way back in the day.
Way back in the insecure days of connecting to computers.
I remember Telnet. Yep. So these are just some examples of, these are custom tools. You'll notice that these aren't out there. Here's a good get Mac one. Remember Charlie wrote get Mac?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, using the ARP table. Command/K ARP. Wait, is it /K that keeps it open? Yeah, I think it's /K.
So timeout. You can do that there, but doesn't inventory already grab the Mac? You can pull the Mac address on the computer.
But what if you're talking about a device? What if you're talking about a device that we can't scan?
Okay, point taken.
Okay, in this case, you'd be hitting a phone, a non-Windows device.
All right.
Anyway, yeah.
Oh, hey Shane, will you do that? I want to run that uninstall Visual C on a machine that doesn't have it, so we can see what happens when it errors.
Okay. Well, I don't know what machine doesn't have it. We could create a collection real quick to find out.
Yeah,
but let's look at Plumbus 8.1. No, that might have it. Let's see.
That does have it. It's got 2008. Look at Groot. Groot, I think, is fairly new.
Groot. Did Colby build that one? No, it's there.
No, it's still there too. Wow.
Well, let's find out. Let's see visuals. Let's find out.
Right click on right click on.
Fit a new collection.
Dude, do it the easy way. Right click on the application, say new dynamic collection, bro.
That's right.
You're pouring yourself another one.
Do I get to pour one because I finally got to school Shane on something?
If you'd like.
You have another paper cup?
I drink out the bottle, guys. I mean, this is mine, right?
Yeah, that's.
Or do I just Clorox the top and then we can share again? Is that how it works? I'm going to use a cup, guys. I'm only so much of a heathen.
You're a heathen. And I love you.
Oh, yeah.
Just lost this. Hold on. I just lost the mouse.
Oh.
There we go.
Love me, but there's no respect whatsoever.
All right. So there we go. You assumed there would be microverse. Okay.
No, don't touch microverse, dude. Don't. I guess it'll be fine to run it there. I'm a little scared on that guy.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever. We're not in the studio.
Okay, blow away the studio machine. Yeah.
How about Is Ma Bell okay?
Ma Bell,
that's cool.
That's
great.
All right.
You have fixed everything we do. Yeah.
So here we're going to go over to tools, and you said uninstall the Visual C++ 2000.
Yeah.
And what your point is, you want to see what this output right here.
Yeah.
Is. All right.
It's interesting to see, because if we were to uninstall, like you know how we did the uninstall. There it is.
Okay. So notice 1605, and we have a little exclamation point there, right? Mm-hmm. So if we wanted to say that. Yes, in this case, this is saying, yeah, this is a failure. If we wanted to say that 1605 was a success, notice up here in the success codes, I added a comma, 1605, save it. Let's run it again. The whole point is it would show that as a success only because it should change the icon here to, yeah, it was a success, return code 1605, even though 1605 in this case means it doesn't exist. Maybe you want that to show that you don't want to clutter up your errors. Is that where you were kind of going?
Well, where I was going was this, right? We showed, look, if we did an uninstall tool for like Chrome, right? And we did it on a machine that had a different version of Chrome and that app ID didn't work. I just wanted to see what that would look like,
Gotcha.
Let everybody know that's what it would look like if it didn't work. So, whoa, JJ, how many is that for you, bro?
That was the final sip.
Dude, I'm just like, it just seemed like a shot glass. Like I was watching him like, wow.
He calls it one, but it was a big gulp version.
It was a pretty, it went up to.
Pretty stout.
Yeah. The fat end of the Glencairn glass, yes.
Do we have any more questions out there?
Sure.
Pretty soon, Lex and I are just going to start telling inappropriate stories. We're both getting sauced. This shelter. And what I saw this meme that said, "I've gone to the liquor store for the third time this week to buy my 2 weeks supply of liquor." I mean, it's.
All right, let's go ahead and do a speed round. Are we ready, JJ?
You want to do a speed round?
Oh yeah. Let's see how this ends
Cheers.
up. All right, dear Lex and Shane, I followed the old article about how to create a tool shortcut for Dameware Mini Remote Control. What credentials are used? Sincerely, Joshua C.
Let's go back to Dameware here.
Now, if you can obviously select the credentials you're going to use, but if you use the default, wouldn't that be the background service credentials?
I don't know, dude. I got to look at it. I did this years ago. I built this Dameware one years ago. Hell if I know. Hold on. So there's a lot of Dameware command line options. A lot, seriously. So in this case, when you're saying what credentials are used, I believe this. So / if I recall, /A is the type of credential that you want to use. Like you could say there's a smart card. You could say I believe. So let's go. Open up this. Type in DWRCC
CLI
DWRCC.exe parameters, and I'm going to put that up. So I'm going to go to SolarWinds website here. There's, like I said, there's a lot. There's going to come a point where you're just going to need to go to the vendor site. Come on, click on this.
Little Google foo. Go to town on that.
Who knows? Maybe our
earthquake.
Maybe the earthquake.
Shut down Dameware.
I believe it's -A is the type. It's been a while, because there's quite a few different types. But let's see.
Ooh, I saved you there, buddy. Let me center it. Here it goes.
All right, go for it.
All right, you can have it back now.
Thank you.
Some speed round this is.
Yeah, right.
We're doing second thought.
We'll just make it an hour.
Yeah, -A specifies the authentication method. That's probably where you're going. But notice, just Google the same thing we did, DWRCC parameters, and you'll get that. Next one.
All right.
That was quick. Good job, Shane.
Shut up, guys.
All right. Are you ready, JJ?
I'll see it. Okay. We're on the same one. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Is there a way to have PDQ recognize 2 IP addresses for a single device? Sincerely, talk to me, Goose.
All right. So, okay. The answer is you can scan for IP addresses. You can scan for network adapters, and show those. We only use one as far as determining the computer that we're going to access. We only use one IP address at a time for managing, and that is the first address returned by DNS. However, you can have a scanner that looks at, once again, multiple IP addresses and look at those. But as far as connecting to that computer and expecting what we're expecting, we use the first IP address returned by DNS. Hope that answers it.
All right.
Under a minute. Nicely
All right.
done, man.
Good job.
Excellent. Ready for the next?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, dear Shane and Lex, can you make custom tools private or to limited people? Sincerely, Guy.
No.
Hey, well, I wanted to take that one. I got this.
Right. Unless I'm
No.
wrong.
No, you can't right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you're just I want to take that one and just exactly say what Shane just said.
I just wanted to say it the same, only like with more feeling, you know.
Only different.
No, unlike packages and stuff like that in multi-console settings where you can mark it as private, these we've never set to be able to mark as private. Doesn't mean that won't be something in the future. Let us know if that's something you'd like, but no.
All right. Next.
We burned past our minute on that one.
Okay,
Right,
dear. Yeah, you're going, man. Dear Shane and Lex, hi. I want to find users in local remote desktop user groups. What kind of scam profile should I use? Thank you, Sonny.
There might be a built-in one, but you want to scan local users and groups. I believe we might even have one like that. So if we go over here to options, scan profiles, I believe, maybe not. I'm just going to go ahead and just say new. If you go and scan this one, users and groups, you should be able to find that. So you scan users and groups. Every group, every user has a global yes or no toggle. That's to be able to say whether it's domain or local. You could run that scanner and then say, or the standard one, which includes that, specify the name of the group, and then do the not any if you don't want to find those that are in there. There, was that under a minute?
That was pretty good.
Pretty close.
Pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I don't want to add anything.
We have.
Thank you, Lex. Thanks for not muddying the waters.
We have 2 left. Are we ready, JJ?
Yeah.
Is there a database or repository for pre-made tools? Thanks, JD.
Yeah, we've got a tools library. So if you go to customize on tools, I don't think we've updated this forever.
Hang on. Boom.
Go ahead. You want to drive? You want to drive, Lex? Go ahead.
There it is. I just stole it right there. And then the great thing about this is you can go in and say, look up host by IP, look up IP by net BIOS, import selected, and now, boom, we've got some new tools.
Yeah. These are just like the package library, just like the collection library. These are great, but they also are there for hopefully, good cheat sheets.
Absolutely.
Dig it. Last question.
All right. Final question of the day. Being at home sucks. What is PDQ staff doing for at-home work? Sincerely, home sysadmin.
Well, right now I'm producing
it. I'm blowing smoke rings.
And I'm producing a webcast during earthquake season. This could end at any minute. You'll end up with something like this going on. Whee!
We are almost all. When I say almost all, we are remote. We have a facilities fellow that works there that honestly, he's one of those that you couldn't get him away from the office if you had a gun at his head. But he also works facilities and is building new offices. And then we have one person a day that shows up just to answer phones and get packages and
pick up the mail.
Make sure that place doesn't blow up. But that they don't really have any interaction with anybody. Other than that, everybody's at home. We're all set up remote, and our Slack channels are blowing up, and new packages are coming out, new versions. I mean,
our phones route.
If you look at yesterday, things are still happening. So
it's business as usual.
Are being built, collections updated, etc.
Aside from all of us being in the office, that's it.
I will say the one thing I really, really miss working from home is being able to walk out and either just give Hanks a bunch of crap or walk down the hall and go, "Hey, Mamish," to Shane.
Yeah, you have to drive all the way down to do it. So.
Yeah, that's quite a drive now. But yeah,
it's tough times. We hope all of you guys are doing okay. Please stick with social distancing. We know it sucks, but we are open, business as usual. If you have questions, hit up our support site. In fact, even more so now. Hit us up, talk to us.
Yeah.
We're here to help. This is a tough time. No, we're not therapists and psychologists. You don't want to take our life advice. If you want to ask, just take that into consideration. If you want to ask me, it's going to be Scotch related answer. So
I got to say, we're all IT. We're the original social distancers. I mean, think about it. I don't want to let you more salsa on these fingers.
I love it. The original social distancers.
And training for this my whole life.
Most of our employees probably don't notice much.
That is a good point. Yeah.
We hire the rock stars, and they're just like, "Yeah, I got work to do. I don't care."
All right, we're gonna go to fake camera 2.
There we go.
Fake camera 2.
We'll keep killing.
Am I looking at it?
Yeah.
Am I looking at it?
Yeah, you're looking at that lounge, that beautiful lounge. Shane's smoking.
My lounge is downstairs.
Well,
I'm smoking next to a window in my loft.
Oh, nice.
I'm talking about the hotel lounge behind you.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Rock on, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Hey, appreciate y'all, and we'll catch y'all later.
All right. Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations going out to Goose and Guy, winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. And sometime before this apocalypse is over, we'll get that to you if the mail keeps running. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe, and we will see you back here next week.